My lesson plan is for first grade math. The title of my lesson is How Much Money Do I Need? The text that I'll be using is 4.1a, Number and Operations. The students applied mathematical process standards to identify coins, their value, and relationship among them in order to recognize the need for monetary transaction. The students expected to identify U.S. coin, including pennies, nickels, dimes, and quarters by value and describe the relationship among them. My objective is the students will be able to identify pennies, nickels, dimes, and quarters and understand the value that they represent. Material that I would be using is the plastic coins. However, I wouldn't be using these plastic coins. I just bought them at the Family Dollar, and they have the word copy. The ones that I use in the classroom do not have the word copy, so I would be using those. I will also be using plastic chips, or you can also do something as simple as use construction paper and just cut them out in a circle, and they'll work as good as the chip does. The procedure. First, I will engage my students by asking them, how many of us like to have money to buy things? Most of the students will agree that money is very important and we need it to buy things at the store. However, does everyone understand what each coin is worth? Today, we will learn the value of penny, nickel, dime, and quarter. The way how I would start the exploration process would be set students into groups of 3 or 4 and allow time for the students to look at the different coins. So first they will be able to look or play with the coins in their group. During this time, the students are encouraged to talk to their group members about what they know about each coin and their value. You might have some students that know the value of a nickel or the value of a penny. So during this time that I'm giving them to talk into with their groups, I can walk around and see what they already know, what they understand. And if I see a group that's very quiet, maybe I'll know that that group in particular needs more help and they don't know what each coin is worth. Next, I have students explain what they know about each group, about each coin, and can be as simple as the color, the size, or if they know the value of each coin. During this time, the teacher will take the time to clarify any misunderstanding and will go over each coin. So during this time, I will bring the chips and I'll say, okay, so how many of us know what the value of a penny is? And if they say 1, okay, so that let's pretend that this is the value of a penny as well. How many of you know what a nickel is worth? So hopefully they'll say 5. So how many chips do you think we'll need? And if they say 5, I'll say, great job, 5. And I show them 5 chips and so on. During this time, I'll give them the chips and or construction paper and allow them to work into groups and see if they can give me the value of each coin with the chips. Once the students understand the value and ask them among the group if they understand the value of each coin, I will review and they will have the opportunity to work with their group during this time. Finally, once they understand the value of each coin and can identify the coin by the name, I will replace the chips during this time. Once they have the time to play with the chips and the coins, I will replace the chips with pennies. I will say, okay, so now we know that 1 penny is worth 1 chip. How about if we take the chips away and we only use pennies? How many pennies do you think we will need to make up a nickel if a nickel is worth 5 cents? Hopefully they will say 5 pennies. And then this is where I would replace all the chips for pennies and transition from the pennies to each coin. So for example, if I say, okay, so how many pennies do I need for a dime? They say 10. So I count out 10 pennies. And then I say, okay, so if it's 5 pennies, I'm missing 1, but if I say 5 pennies it's equal to a nickel, how many nickels do I need for a dime? And so on. So that's how I would move from the chips to pennies and then from pennies to nickels, and hopefully they'll get the relationship and move from nickels to dimes, and then these 2 coins, dimes and nickels, to 25 cents. And once we get the value of the coins and the name, then I can move on to see, okay, we have store in our classroom, and then they can know if you want to buy certain things, you have to have the amount correct. So that's how I would do my lesson. I'll start it off by showing them the name, the value, and then we'll move on to if they want to buy different stuff during the classroom store that I would create in my class. And that's it.